I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across.
Well, here we go again. The US involving themselves in Burkina Faso affairs. General Langley, he's a general in the US Army. And this guy is a puppet at the highest level. Because he's only there because of his color. He's not there because of his achievements. So anyway, he and the congressman are accusing Ibrahim Traore of being corrupt, accepting bribes, and using his gold refinery to enrich himself and his army. And they see the disrespect they're calling him junta. He's not a junta, he's a president. Anyway, so let's listen to it from his own words, because I want to, so you can see that I'm not misquoting him or misrepresenting him. Let's take a listen to what he said, and then we'll talk about it. Boom.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that, and there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
So there you have it. That's General Langley claiming falsely that he knows that Ibrahim Traore is using the gold reserve to enrich himself. Mind you, they don't have any base in Burkina Faso, not in the Sahel. No base, no army. They lost their $100 million drone program in Niger. So where is he getting this information from? The news isn't the BBC's, and so he's not allowed for the same thing, misinformation. So where is he pulling this account from? Anyway, it's just another smear tactic. But you know what? Let's listen to what the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso said. Jean Emmanuel, he gave a speech on live television, and he addressed the same comment made by the general. So let's take a listen to it and then we'll tie everything together. Boom. It is true that there has already been an official reaction through a press release from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. But we all can say is that it was with great surprise, and so we discover this, that we discover this statement, which is not supported by any report. And we are all the more surprised that it comes from a general who is more likely to manage military issues. In particularly US Africom, of which he is the boss. It was really a big surprise, and what must be said already is that this manipulation has no chance of succeeding, because, quite simply, when you take Burkina Faso today, thanks to the vision of the head of state in the area of gold production, this is what is happening. It is unprecedented. To take the example of the year ending, 2024. The National Society of Precious Substances has collected more than 8 tons of gold in 2024. In the first quarter of 2025, we are at more than 11 tons of gold already collected. It is a state-owned company. And today, the question that must be asked is, because these enormous quantities of gold that are collected come largely from the arsenal mining, ask yourselves, where did this gold go? And we are convinced that these volumes of gold collected in Burkina Faso still have significant room for improvement. So, we must already ask, we must also ask ourselves, by what route this quantity of gold left Burkina Faso? Today, everything is being done to ensure that Burkina Faso benefits from this. For me, the first time we are engaged in a process of building up a gold reserve in Burkina Faso. And yet, while all this work is being done and producing significant results visibly to the Burkinabe people, there has been this malicious statement from a general who barely hides his desire to manipulate and to manipulate us. We will remember that you and our elders tell us that this during the revolution of Thomas Sankara was a victim of the same manipulation at one time. He was accused of all the sins in Israel, accused of illicit enrichment and everything. All of this was part of the desire to destabilize, to demoralize him, to manipulate opinions and to create favorable conditions for what happened. So, how does this explain that? We are not going to say straight out that this is what it is about. But we are convinced of one thing. This statement by the American general is not insignificant. But today, you see the whole reaction, the whole totality that this has provoked. No connection with the reality on the ground. And this general would do better to deal with military matters because, in terms of manipulation, he shines with his mediocrity. So there you have it. So let me take it step by step. Number one, he's lying because they're saying Ibrahim Traore is in Burkina Faso, the citizens are not benefiting from the gold, which is a blatant lie because we know all the. If you watch my channel and you know, when it comes to Ibrahim Traore, I know everything he have done in the country, from industrialization to infrastructure to opening schools and free healthcare and free school up to college level. So we know what he have done for his citizens. But this is just another attempt. They're trying to do the same thing they did in Libya. Keep in mind, Libya with Gaddafi, they had free healthcare, free education, free electricity, free water. They don't have to pay no bills. And every time someone get married, they get a home and 5,000 of their money at the time. Gaddafi had one of the biggest gold reserve in the world at the time, in 2011, 2009, 2010 coming up. That's what caught their eye, and they used that to say he's corrupt, he's a dictator, and he's torturing his people, blah blah blah. And they spread that narrative, and then people bought into it, and then they took him out. And look what happened to Libya. Up to 2025, it's still in turmoil up to today. Cannot catch themselves, and now they are sorry. They listen to the US and take out their own leader. So they're trying to do the same thing with Ibrahim Traore, but it won't work because we know their tactics now. They are trying to spread misinformation, manipulation, and saying he's enriching himself. We know Ibrahim Traore does not have no fancy cars, no fancy clothes, no jewelry, no expensive homes, because he does not have. He have a humble home he have from since he was in the army. He doesn't even take a president salary, he take a commander salary. So where are they getting this information from? And the citizens of Burkina Faso love him to death. And also, listen to what the Prime Minister said. In December, when they retook the gold mines, they mined 8 tons of gold. But listen to the key part. In 2025, this year, the first quarter, from January 1st to March 31st, they collected 11 tons of gold. So the Prime Minister is asking, where was all this gold? How was all this gold leaving Burkina Faso, and which road they were taking? Because before they take over, the gold reserve in Burkina Faso was zil. It was nothing. It was all shipped out. So who was shipping it out? Because remember, the US had a base there, the French had a base there. So where was all this gold going? Who was refining it? Who was taking it out of the country? So if they can get 11 tons of gold in 3 months, imagine what they have been getting for the past 10 years when these mines was controlled by the multinational groups. Imagine that. So this is what they fear. They fear the world get to see what they have been doing to Burkina Faso and Niger. So Ibrahim Traore is putting up his goal in his gold reserve. Why? Because he built and opened his first central bank, not his first bank, his first central bank where everything comes in and everything they disperse the cash from there. And he's trying to have his own currency in this AES alliance. So that's mean all three nations are building up their bank with their gold reserve to use the gold as the backing for the currency. Because we all know the US does not have nothing back the currency, just paper. They don't have any nothing solid to hold on to back it up. So anyway, so the Prime Minister is 100% right. The general need to stick to military. Stick to the military. Because what do you know about Burkina Faso's gold and what they're doing on the ground? They show you how detached they are and this blatant disregard, not this blatant hate for Ibrahim Traore, because we all know and see what Ibrahim Traore has been doing in Burkina Faso. He's loved globally. So how now we're gonna sit in Congress and say you have information he's stealing gold? Where is this information? Where are you getting the evidence from? And who is giving it to you? You cannot turn before we get to that, the Prime Minister also stated that they did the same thing with Thomas Sankara and tried to demoralize him and manipulate him and they said he was corrupt, he was accepting bribes and stuff like that. So this is what they do before they try to attack. Not before, because they have tried about 20 times to attack Ibrahim Traore and assassinate him, to be specific. So, but now because they cannot get to him, now they are using the world media. They're trying to use the media now to paint this narrative that Ibrahim Traore is corrupt. He's enriching himself, and he and his men and the citizens are not getting any benefit from this. This is what we have to watch out and keep an eye on. Misinformation, deliberate manipulating the circumstances to fit the narrative to paint Ibrahim Traore as somebody like I don't know who comparing it, because every African leader who they take out and say I can't think about we know is a lie. But think about this: the Congress, they're talking about corruption and gratuity and bribery. A Congress person make $174,000 US per year. Listen to me, $174,000 they make annually. Every Congress and senators get, right? Roughly. So how is it these congressmen and senators are becoming millionaires in 4 or 5 years? Even if you add up their salary for 10 years, it's just 1.7 million. But yet some of them is worth 20 million, 50 million. Where is this money coming from? And they're talking about bribes and they're talking about corruption. Who is more corrupt than the US government? We have evidence of they have been funding and paying 20 million for Sesame Street ads. Do you actually believe $20 million it costs to create to translate a child Sesame Street to another country? Do you believe it costs 20 million for that? So they have been pocketing money from and scamming money, skimming money off these so-called NGOs and enriching themselves. And they're gonna come and talk about Ibrahim Traore. The audacity of these people to think that they can just use that same MO that they did with Sankara, Gaddafi, who again? Patrice Lumumba, Niue Kogwami from Ghana, and all these great men who they take out because it was against their own interests. But Ibrahim Traore is no spring chicken. He's very smart, he's very tactical, and that's one of the reasons why they're having a hard time to pin him down. So this is what I love. And you see, they're using our own people to get at him, where they are using black generals in the US Army, they're using corrupted politicians from Burkina Faso who escape and go to different countries. They're using them to paint a narrative on Ibrahim Traore, because what? They are the ones who was put there to look out for the interests of all these other Western countries. So all this is coming to an end. They hate it because imagine that within 2 years they have 19 ton of gold. Think about that. In less than 2 years, in less than a year, because from 2014, the middle of 2014 till 2024, the middle of the year till the ending, then 6 months and then. So 9 months, they have collected almost 20 ton of gold. So if they collect 20 ton of gold in less than a year, imagine how much gold has been shipped out of the country via military planes and UN drones, which crash and they found gold in it, and the UN trucks and all this. This is how they move the gold out of these countries, not Burkina Faso alone, out of Africa as a whole. So anyway, let me know what you think about this, guys. If I continue, I will talk whole night, and then I'll keep drawing references to different atrocities they have caused in the African continent. So anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, if you're watching video to this distance, to this far, tell a friend, like, comment, just go. That's all I ask for, is a like and a share and a comment. That's it. And you can enjoy more of these videos. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Boom.